welcome back to my channel. My name is Demi and you're watching Purpose and Profits channel. Today we're going to talk about my first 3 businesses as a kid. I'll be flashing pictures of me when I was a kid, and I'll be telling you the first 3 businesses that I had when I was a kid. I actually earned pretty good money out from it, and I really wouldn't be able to forget about it, because now that I'm an entrepreneur, looking back to those times, it was like, yeah, I probably am really made for this, because it was something that I do out of fun. It was something that I did out from, the idea of being able to help other people, or being able to express what I know, express what I have, and share my knowledge to other people. So, right, let's start. Okay, the very first business that I ever had as a kid, I think 6 or 7. I was already in elementary school, first grade or second grade, I think. Second or third grade was the time that I started, having this interest with money and having so much interest about selling stuff to other people. And the first business that I ever had was selling paper dolls, okay? So these are paper dolls that are made out from the carton, right? The type of carton that I'm using is that very thin carton at the back of a sheet of paper, back of 100 sheets of paper, and those are the type of cartons that I usually look for, type of paper that I usually look for to make a paper doll. The thing about the paper doll is that I create my very own clothes for the doll. So per doll is, I think, 1 peso, which is 0.052 US dollars. That is from the conversion over here as of today, but probably is bigger back in the day, back in year 2000, right? So that was a time when I was selling paper dolls. So what I do is that I draw a doll or a person in that thin paper. I cut it out, and then voila, you have a doll. And then I would start drawing clothes, and then I color them. And then each paper doll is put in a small envelope with 10 clothes. Okay, so that is worth 1 peso back then. I had so much fun because it's an art thing. I'm a very artsy person. So I really had the chance to create paper dolls and create really wonderful clothes for them. And most of my classmates are actually girls. That's why it was selling a lot. And for boys, they were like, nah, we don't like that. But there was one actually that got very interested and very curious about it, that he bought one. And then later on, he said, oh, it's really fun, but it's not something that I'm into. So he threw the doll away, which is like, yeah, just 1 peso. I don't care if you throw my doll away. You already give me your money. So that was what I did when I was a kid. It was so fun. I cannot remember exactly how much did I profit from it, because that was like years and years ago. Year 2000, 2001 kind of. So I cannot really remember anymore, but for sure that was the very first business that I ever had. I don't know, I cannot even remember who was the one who gave me the idea to start it out, but I think it was my mom. I think she had the same business back when she was a kid. She told me kind of about it. And then the profit that I made is the money that I used to buy candies outside of the school, because outside of the school there's like a huge store with just candies, toys and stuff. People know that there are a lot of kids in there, so they always sell kid stuff outside the school because they cannot go inside the school premises, which is pretty cool. I liked it. I've always wanted candies, and that's probably my motivation why I wanted to sell paper dolls. And like, okay, let's sell paper dolls so that we could buy candies later. Skazam! The second business that I had, which is pretty weird, I could entirely remember the whole thing. It was when I started taking out stuff from our house and bringing it to school to sell them. Literally stuff like figurines, books, toys. I've been bringing my old toys, my old books, old figurines, the little statues that you have in your room, the old clocks that we have, literally the antique stuff in our house. I took them all out. I had a huge search around my grandmother's house, and I put them all in my bag, went to school, and sold it. Okay, I cannot remember exactly how much was per piece, but I think I was coding the people depending on what thing they are buying. So it was like I have a huge antique inside my bag. My bag was a trolley bag, and it's so fun because it's like, oh, okay, go inside my bag and go search from stuff that you might like. So it was like I was bringing an antique or a boutique inside my bag to the school. So I had that as my second business. And that it was so funny because I was trying to hide it from my mom because I was pretty sure that she would not like what I was doing because I was literally stealing things from my grandmother's house and from our house, basically, and selling it to school, which is kind of, I don't know what I thought about it. I think I had the idea from one of my classmates who were bringing stuffed toys and were selling it inside the school. She had like tons of stuffed toys, and I was like, I don't have stuffed toys. I don't have stuffed toys in my house. So what is it that I could possibly sell people? So I had to search around the whole house and just randomly pick up things that are old and what I thought was not even used anymore inside the house, and I sold it. Duh. Made money out from it. And the third one, the third one is something that I considered my real first business, and I really earned money out from it. And I know the profit, I know how much should I spend to create the product again and again. So as an artsy person, I have always wanted to create things, and one of which is my love for fabric. So what I did is I created ribbons, okay, hair bows. Those were my very first business. I've sold it to my college friends. Most of my college friends and classmates are actually girls because we are all teachers. We're all teachers to be. So there are only like one or two people in the class that are men. So it's like almost all of the class is my customer or my client. I've been selling bows to catch up with the projects that I have with school because they're a little bit expensive. I have to make sure that I could shoulder it all, make money out from it just so I could catch up with the projects. I could pay for the supplies that I need to continue studying. So I sold one bow for $50. Okay, I sold one bow for $50, and then there's other people who are buying more intricate designs, which is like $0.75. I sold it for $0.75. And it was amazing because I really had the chance to really make a brand out for myself from my very own art, which is what I am actually trying to do right now. I'm going back to that, and I'll be announcing that little news to you soon. I'm not ready yet, but I will. Okay, so the hard part about it is staying late at night to create the bows and the products. And I have to really meet the client in person in a specific mall near my school just so I could have the product delivered or have the product sent because it was expensive to ship. And I don't have the money for that. So that was kind of the problem about it. But it could have been simpler if I would just go to a shipping store, a courier, and then have it all shipped in the customer's house, right? But they wouldn't allow, or they wouldn't actually be okay with paying for the shipping also, which is pretty much it's kind of the thing here in the Philippines where you would say, oh, you have to pay for the shipping. That's not the thing in here. You really have to like meet the person in a local area or stuff like that just so you can have the product delivered. So those were the hardest parts. But the experience in itself in all three business was amazing because it was like the universe's way of telling me that, okay, this is something that you will do in the long run. And I did not really think about that as I was pursuing college, after I had my first job. So it was only then that I knew that entrepreneurship has actually been for me. And looking back to these moments, it's heartwarming because, the old version of myself actually had that instinct in mind. That means it has really been in it, okay? So yes, I hope you have enjoyed this sharing story time experience. And if you had little businesses when you were a kid, example, selling baseball cards back then, I think that is very common in the US. If you had those experiences when you were a kid, comment them down below. I would like to know. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.